What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. You cannot be coming to our country and take everything that will make us develop, and then you still treat us as inferior people, as if we don't know what we're doing. I think that is wrong. Africa is not part of the Security Council. We're talking about 54 countries. A whole continent does not have one person representing Africa when it comes to decision making at the Security Council. Definitely, you cannot have 7 countries vetoing everything when it comes to Africa issue. It is those 7 countries. Who are the countries that are actually
Al Wakra, Qatar, July 9, 2025. In the high-stakes arena of West African politics, a striking divergence in philosophy is emerging from within Sierra Leone's first family. While First Lady Fatima Maada Bio has become a prominent voice advocating for unadulterated African sovereignty and non-interference, her husband, President Julius Maada Bio, now chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is leading a regional bloc that has threatened military intervention in Niger. This apparent clash of ideals, particularly in the face of a determined Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, could very well push the region into a full-blown conflict. First Lady Fatima Maada Bio has passionately articulated a vision for Africa that is fiercely independent, free from the historical shackles of exploitation and external imposition. Her recent addresses have resonated across the continent, decrying the systematic extraction of African resources by non-African powers and lamenting unequal partnerships that treat African nations as inferior. We constantly face a situation where external parties dictate our needs, the First Lady stated in a widely circulated interview, her voice unwavering. They offer us spaghetti when we desire rice, imposing their will rather than truly understanding our aspirations for growth and self-determination.
I think that is wrong. We're looking for partners that value us. People that will come to our country and say, you know what, this country has suffered enough, they need to grow. In Africa, you should not have a leader that is assertive, a leader that knows what his people want, a leader that wants to change what is happening. The moment you have that, it's everyone's target. And then they find reason to slow you down, they find reason to stop you, and they use that system of corruption. They use corrupt people, they use negative people, they use unpatriotic citizens to come after a government who is doing what is right for a system. I think we need to address those issues. But I think the United Nations needs a huge reform. Yeah. And when the United Nations should be speaking for the world. One of the most serious issues I have with the United Nations is the fact that Africa is not part of the Security Council. We're talking about 54 countries, I'm sorry. 54 countries, a whole continent does not have one person representing Africa when it comes to decision making at the Security Council. Every time an African come forward for something, that they have to be a decision maker for the world, not just African. It's just not possible. And I think the UN should see Africa as partners. And the United Nations, definitely, you cannot have 7 countries vetoing everything. When it comes to Africa issue, it is those 7 countries. Who are the countries that are actually exploiting Africa? They're the ones who have the veto power to make decision on anything that has to do with Africa. So for me, I think that is wrong. What we offer to the world, Europe does not have it. What Africa gives to the world, Europe don't have it, America don't have it, Asia don't have it. Because we are not mining in China, we are not doing any mining in America or mining in Europe, but they're doing it in every part of Africa. Not just Sierra Leone, go to Democratic Republic of Congo, go to Botswana, go to Angola, go everywhere there is mineral resources. It is the West and the Chinese who are there. I think people who, let me speak for Africa. When you come to Africa, ask me what is it that I want. If you ask me what food do you want to eat, I'll tell you I want to eat rice. But then if you come to Africa and bring me spaghetti and said,
She has also been a vocal critic of global power structures, including the current composition of the United Nations Security Council, where Africa, with its 54 nations, lacks permanent representation. Meanwhile, 7 countries, which she identifies as those exploiting Africa, hold veto power over decisions concerning the continent. However, the First Lady's fervent call for non-interference and true African agency stands in stark contrast to the aggressive posture adopted by ECOWAS under her husband's leadership. As ECOWAS chairman, President Bio has overseen the bloc's robust response to the coup in Niger, including the imposition of sanctions and, critically, repeated threats of military intervention to restore the ousted civilian government. This hawkish stance is viewed by some as a profound betrayal of the very Pan-Africanist ideals his wife champions. Critics argue that while the First Lady seeks to liberate Africa from external domination, ECOWAS's military threat represents an internal form of imposition, one African state or bloc using force to dictate the political future of another sovereign African nation. The tension deepens with the resolve of the AES countries, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, all led by military governments that have withdrawn from ECOWAS.